All right, so I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but I'm wearing my dog check shirt because I'm looking for what we just talked about, what was just mentioned in the Luther Burden profile. I'm looking for dog mentality receivers on the field. Do you have the dog in you? And for me, the next guy I'm going to talk about, the first guy I want to talk about outside of the first round for the Browns, I believe does have the dog in him. And this is a guy, if you've watched the show the last couple of weeks or month or so, you know I'm high on him. I love him. I want him. I want him in orange and brown. And that is Cleveland Joseph Harris III. Or, since he's the third, they call him Trey. Tre Harris, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Now, he's projected at pick 53 right now, so somewhere between 33 and 67. Like if the Browns wanted to trade back a little bit, get a little extra capital, and still take Tre Harris based on the projection, okay, I would 100% take him at 33. I think he's that good. I believe in him that much that I don't think 33 is too high to take Tre Harris. I think we'll talk about the profile and stuff, but for me, I just feel like this is a dude who just has future NFL alpha written all over his game. 6'2", 205 pounds, and he's a little bit older than the other guys as a prospect. He's 23. He had a 4.5 4.40, not the fastest time, but if you watch the tape with Tre Harris, you know that his game speed is just fine. NFL draft profile, size, speed, wideout who returned to school in 2024 and improved his game heading into this year's draft. He's primarily a first and third level target, mixing a barrage of hitches and slants with go routes and posts. Now, he's fast enough to win over the top and talented with the ball in his hands to stretch short throws into longer yardage. His route running and contested catch success both took an upturn, but they still need work at the pro level. Of greater concern might be a second consecutive season of time missed due to injury. That is the red flag with Tre Harris. Harris might be capable of expanding his route tree a bit, but he looks locked in as an X receiver with big game potential and a future home as a wide receiver too. Now in 2024, his stats, 76 targets, 60 receptions, 1,030 yards, and 7 touchdowns. To go to what the draft profile mentioned with the injury thing, that's 60 catches, 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns in just 8 games. Now he missed, 4 or 5 games there with a hip and groin injury last year. He ran 86% of his snaps out wide, 13% in the slot. 462 yards after the catch. That was 45% of his production. 7.7 yards after the catch per reception. Now, here's my favorite stat, though, okay? You guys have talked about it with each player so far. You remember I said 2.5 yards per route run is what I'm looking for. That's what we want to see. Anything over that is really, really nice. And sometimes you see a guy who's around 3 or maybe even a little over 3. And that's really impressive. The second best receiver in this entire draft class is a guy named Jamal Pritchett from Southern Alabama, had a 3.34. Now, obviously, the way I'm talking about this, Tre Harris was clearly number 1 in the class, but, this other guy, Pritchett, had a 3.34. So what did Tre Harris have? 3.4, 3.5? How about 5.12 yards per route run? I don't think I've ever seen a receiver even above 4 yards per route run, especially somebody from a Power 4 conference playing against a lot of quality talent on the opposing defenses. And yet Tre Harris, 5.12 yards per route run. Totally insane. He had a 12 ADOT, which is nice. 5 drops on the year, 61.5% contested catch rate. Now, remember whenever I harped earlier in the episode on Matthew Golden for having 11 out of his 16 games with 3 catches or fewer? How about this? In Tre Harris's 8 games that he played, he had 6 games out of those 8 where he had 7 catches or more, and 3 of those games with over 10 catches. 5 games were over 100 yards and 3 over 175, and he even had 1 game over 200. His best game overall, not like total statistically, but his best game, most impressive, to me anyway, was against LSU. Tough opponent. He had 7 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown. And what I like also about Tre Harris, he's not just like a one-year wonder or like a fifth-year college breakout, which is kind of what we saw with Xavier Legette last year. Harris had 935 yards and 10 touchdowns in 2022. That was his 3rd season in college. He had 985 and 8 touchdowns last year, and now this year 1,030 and 7. He averaged 129 yards per game, so if he had played all 12 games, he would have been on pace for 1,545 yards. That I believe, I guess I should look at the stat, but I believe that would have clearly, easily led the entire nation in receiving last year. So I love Tre Harris. If you couldn't tell, I think he's, like I said, he's going to become a high-level wide receiver in the NFL within that rookie contract. So let's go over and look at Fantasy Pros breakdown of Tre Harris. In 2024, yards per route run easily was first in the nation. PFF receiving grade, fourth. Yards per route run versus man coverage, first. Yards after catch per reception, 19th. And if you go back to 2023, yards per route run, 9th. PFF receiving grade, 6th. Yards per route run versus man coverage, 18th. So he was good last year. And then all he did was get even better this year coming into the NFL. The write-up says Tre Harris is a nasty route runner. He has a deep release package with pacing variations and a bevy of in-route nuance. Harris plays 4D chess while corners are still playing checkers. He invites indecision into corners' heads every snap. He gears down well at the top of his stem and can drop his hips easily. Harris has numerous moments in his film where he will set up corners for a later move. He will threaten deep or burn them on a double move when the play isn't designed to come his way. Hey, that's a little different than Luther Burden. This guy actually put some effort in on plays that he's not getting the ball. That rep made the defender guard against getting burned deep as Harris snapped off a hitch route with razor-sharp precision. Harris is not a burner, and this was before the NFL draft, and they were totally right. He likely has 4.5 40-yard dash speed. I worry if he has enough raw speed to stack corners on go routes consistently, but that doesn't mean he is slow, nor that he can't get free downfield with his requisite juice and route running. Harris is the postmaster general. He excels at using his big frame, route running, and speed to burn corners on post deep. Harris offers yak upside in his blend of speed and play strength. He has the necessary lower and upper body strength to run through tacklers, stiff arm them, or shed them easily when they aim high. I'm telling you, this guy is a beast. The highlight reel catches from Harris where he skies above a defender or adjusts to a to a back shoulder ball are glorious. Harris is a ball winner at the catch point with contested catch rates north of 60% in 2 of his last 4 collegiate seasons. I'd be totally on board, totally cool if the Browns decided to pull the trigger on Tre Harris at pick 33. No need to trade back, no need to mess around. Just take him, put him in there, let him do his thing.